I don't believe in the character because my job, I think, is to make you believe in the character. The audience believe. I don't have to believe it. I don't finish a crying scene and keep crying 3 days later. I'm like, okay, I cried. Did you cry? Yes. Okay, so my job's done.
Welcome to Locarno Meets, a movie podcast brought to you by UBS from the Locarno Film Festival. Shah Rukh Khan is the king of Bollywood. He starred in over 100 films, he's worshipped by billions, and over 30 years, he's forged a career that has made him one of the biggest actors on the planet. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Alex, for having me.
So you're here at Locarno to receive the special award. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Alex.
It's been 30 years in this career. Just how different is the industry now to how it was when you started?
2-3 things, Alex, if I was to try and think of it. One, of course, the technology part.
Sure.
That's a given. That's changed a lot. It's changed way more in the last 5 years than even in the last 20 years before that. It's maybe, I would say, easier to make films. Or not easier, just very different and faster to make films. Mm-hmm. And you can imagine even more. And it's just not the VFX, it's even the shooting, the lights. What we have here right now is so much more different. The microphones, everything has become a little more driven towards easing doing your work.
Yeah.
Earlier you had a lot more, camera sounds and things happening, lots of distractions. So that's one part. The technology has really made a huge difference. As far as storytelling is concerned, I may be wrong. Maybe I'm behaving way wiser than my understanding and knowledge. But I think earlier films were a bit more personal storytelling, mm-hmm. or social issues which affected you personally more. Maybe post-war, post-depression, whatever. And you took this personal story and maybe the word is wrong. I should not say cozy, but...
Intimate.
Intimate, yeah. An intimate way of storytelling, which could be larger than life. It could be bigger. I think over the years, I noticed that the stories became for the masses, where they're more aspirational, where people want to identify with the characters or the situations you are in. It could be anti-establishment also, depending upon the sign of times. So they became more for the masses. Now, I was just before you came in, I was talking to a gentleman, and we're talking about how social media has come in, and everybody's a filmmaker, which is a good thing. Anyway, I think in films, everybody's a filmmaker. So even my kid can make a movie on Instagram, and some of them are really nice. And so there's more intermingling of life and filmmaking. So it was very individual, understanding, maybe even more intellectual. Then it became more massy, more approachable, more identifiable. And now it's just intermingled. You can tell a story, and one of the mediums of telling the story is your telephone. And I think that is filmmaking also. So I think the newer generation with social media and telephone in your hand don't even require this technology to make a film. Soderbergh is making a film on an iPhone. So it's awesome. I think I think I'm 58 now, so another 10 years, I'm okay. I've passed that stage. But the younger people will have to deal with this intermingling of storytelling through cinema, which is accessible to everybody.
Do you think that type of new storytelling will be a rival, maybe even a threat to traditional grand cinematic visions?
No, I think it'll just be quicker. It'll just be faster. It'll be intercut faster, because I find it that my kids love to see I have an 11-year-old, I have a 23-year-old and a 27-year-old. And so I can kind of see the variance of how they like films. And I'm 58, so I know how I like films. And yes, I like to explain things a little more. I like to, what they say, spoon feeding. While the younger one, you try to tell him, so we opened the scene in Italy. Yeah, Italy, we understood, AC Milan. Yeah, move on, So they know what the setting is. They want to get to the crux of it. So maybe the storytelling will become, I hope it doesn't become reels, but it will become a little faster. But I think the bigness of sitting in a room and watching it, sometimes people say, oh, we're watching it at home, but the television screens are 200 inches now. So they are actually watching it in a cinema. So I think the grandness will remain, just the speed of storytelling may change.
You'll be showing Devdas. Can you tell me what that film meant for your career?
Yeah, so I've grown up, my parents, my mom, my dad, There are generations and generations of people who've liked Devdas. There are 13 Devdases that have been made in India. It's a Sharat Chandra novel, and people have adapted it. And for some reason, it's a huge hit every time. When you say huge hit in terms of people wanting to go and see it, I don't know when Mr. Bansali, who's a fantastic filmmaker, and I think this would be his second or third film then, we met for the film, and when he narrated the film to me, there are very few films that I start liking because of the dialogues, because they are so theatrical and over the top, and I come from theatre. So for me, being subtle is a problem. So I love this whole, comedy style of enactment, punch and judy, and being larger than life, and dialogues making some different kind of sense. So I really liked it, but for some reason it fell through. And there came a time that we wouldn't be doing it. And I moved on. But I was very keen to do a film in my career. My parents had passed away by the time I joined films. Both of them were not alive. And I don't know, for some reason I always felt I'll make films which are very big, so that my mom and dad can see them from heaven. So it's a childish thought. I still think my mom's a star, and it works. I think I even know the star she is. So I just felt that if I made Devdas, she would really like it. She would appreciate. I didn't think I could play the character. I didn't think, because Mr. Dilip Kumar had played it. I think Mr. Sehgal, some of the greatest artists in our country, Uttam Kumar ji, some great artists had played it, and flawlessly. I don't think mine is so brilliant or good. But in spite of a lot of senior actors telling me, don't do it, I just wanted to do it, that, maybe the mom might did Devdas, which we used to watch. So for me, it was that part. It was working with Mr. Bansali, who I think is one of the most dramatic, theatrical, beautiful filmmakers in the country. Got an opportunity to wear a lungi. And then I hope I played him less of a loser, more of a non-committing man, who had his own reasons to not commit to love. Because I found otherwise the character being a bit of a loser, shirking away from duties, shirking away from commitment. Sure. So I just wanted to play him a little, I didn't want you to feel love for him, but I didn't want you to hate him and like him for being an alcoholic who runs away from every girl that he falls in love with. So I just wanted him to be indescribable. I hope I've achieved that. And
I think the way you perform him is very universal. I think the worst parts of myself can identify with him,
Are you an alcoholic too?
I am not.
No, I understand what you're saying, because for me, I was very young then. To be able to appreciate those kind of feelings was difficult, to be honest. But yeah, overall, I haven't seen it recently. I'll see it tonight. I hope I've done it well. I was very nervous doing that film. Very difficult. Also, as actors grow up, you want to play a madman. You want to play a person who can't see, probably. You want to play an alcoholic. So these are the 4 or 5 tropes you have of wanting to do roles. So it was one of my tropes that, I'll be an alcoholic. And so I drank a little on the sets.
Did that help or hinder?
I got the Best Actor award. Yes, it must have helped, I think. But I started drinking after the film, so that was one downside to it.
I was going to ask, actually, have there been types of roles that you haven't been able to do yet? Are there still things that you've got your eyes on that you think one day I must?
Yes, Alex, I'll be very honest. I don't take myself too seriously as an actor. Because I have a different way of thinking about acting. I do believe that you don't, I meet a lot of actors and I respect them a lot and I think they're wonderful. They start believing the character that they're playing, and they think, a lot of actors talk to me like this. This character won't say this.
Oh, yes.
No, this character, this line can't. And I'm like, you are the creator of the character. You can say what you want.
You're the boss.
You're the boss. You're the one who's just do what you feel like doing. And maybe that's why my enactment is perhaps not pure compared to how others do it. I don't believe in the character, because my job, I think, is to make you believe in the character. The audience believe. I don't have to believe it. I don't finish a crying scene and keep crying 3 days later. I'm like, okay, I cry. Did you cry? Yes. Okay, so my job's done. So I play it very differently. I'm very honest about it, I think. I would love to play a lot of roles, a lot of characters. I don't know how differently I can play them. So I'm not stereotyped. I'm hero type. I play them like a hero. I play them larger than life. So I don't know how much appreciation there is for that. But there are lots of things I want to do. I want to do a bad guy now again because I think I have a new way of playing a bad guy.
Cool.
I want to play some of the action stuff that I wanted to do. I did last year. Now I want to play an assassin.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, no, so things like that. So more roles, and then within the roles, I'll figure out what character to play. Yeah, but every morning I wake up with a new thought. Yeah.
Well, speaking of your action stuff, Jawan is such a great film. It's so fun and dynamic and crazy, but you know, it's very different from Devdas. And I wondered if there was a genre which you most enjoyed the process of making.
So what I do is, because I'm in the happy space that I can pick and choose the films. God has been kind. I think the audience has been too kind for 35 years. That I just always feel, yeah, okay, I have a choice that I can make. So every year or every 6-8 months, I wake up with the thought, okay, now, I want to do a horror film. And I hope somebody offers me a horror film. And if I don't, I have a plan B. Let's do comedy. So I'm waiting for someone to offer me a horror film for 4 or 5 months. And if it doesn't come through, then I'll kind of, go for the comedy. So there is always, so when I was during COVID and the 2 years that I didn't work after zero, I just decided I want to do an action film. I became a little impudent about it. I want to do action. If anybody gives me action, I'm going to do action. And then, I'm sorry, I've done it twice. Please forgive me. So 2 years I didn't work. And then I just said, no, I'm going to do only an action film. Nobody gives me an action film. So I waited. And during COVID, nobody was really making films, but people would offer. And I felt it's not rude to say, listen, if you're doing an action film, I'm part of it. Because nobody's making films right now. So, you can tell them this. It won't seem too rude. And then I think a couple of people succumbed. My friend Aditya Chopra, who had made Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge with me, who thinks I'm a waste as an action hero. He thinks I should be playing emotional roles. And Siddharth Anand, who directed the film. So I think they just succumbed and say he's being spoilt, let's give it to him. So I think of a genre that I want to do, and then the role I'd like to play, and then hopefully develop the character with the directors that I work with. So that's the process that follows. So I really also wanted to do, participate. The South Indian cinema has a different language, the way they say the same stories. And I'd never done a film of that genre. And I was really dying to do it. I didn't want to do a remake. Mostly Hindi films from the South, they just remake the South Indian films. So I didn't buy rights for any film. I worked with Mr. Mani Ratnam, who I think is one of the greatest filmmakers in the world. But I hadn't done a South Indian genre film, where everything, the hero, it's a more hero-oriented film, where everything, the way he walks, the way he talks, the way he smokes, the way he kills, the way he shoots, is all enhanced. It's outstanding. So Jawan was that. So I was really, really, really happy that after 30 years of working in the film industry, I got to live my dream of doing an action film. Now, like I said, maybe after another 6 months, maybe I'd like to do a comedy, a little gentler film. And then I hope some people watch your interview and write a comedy and come and offer it to me.
Do you find it easier to make an audience laugh, gasp, or cry?
So I'd be honest, I think I have an innate sense of humor,
Yeah.
and I can make people laugh, but it's very inappropriate at times also. So I try to control myself. I'm told by my team all the time, people don't understand your humor. and now people become very sensitive, Alex.
Several billion people would disagree.
But now people have become very sensitive. You say something and somebody gets disturbed. So it's better to not have a sense of humor. As an actor, I think comedy is very difficult.
Yeah.
I think it's it's a very serious business. It's very difficult.
It's the one that most actors fail at it.
I've failed also very often. I'm on the sets, everybody laughed, then I see the scene and nobody's laughing in the theater. Yeah, it's very difficult. I did a film called Chennai Express, and that was a big learning experience. And it did well, and people laughed at the jokes, and I was really relieved. And I've not jumped into a comedy quickly after that. I'm like waiting, because it is a difficult job. Personally, I can make people laugh. I never thought I'd make people cry, but I met some really wonderful ladies in Germany 10, 15 years back, and I tell this story to everyone, so people might have heard this. I asked them, why do you like my films? In Germany, they were really loving my films because the language was different, the emotions are different. And these two old ladies told me, very sweet ladies, they said, we have a button for making coffee. we have a button to go up the stairs on an escalator. You are the button for making us cry. So I realize I'm a button for crying. So yeah, I also, I think it happens because I genuinely respect people's emotions.
Sure.
I understand emotions. I may not appreciate it, but I understand them. So if you're behaving in a certain, if you go on a rant and start screaming and shouting, I may not appreciate it, but I know there must be something with Alex, and I respect that. So
It's the drinking, as we discussed.
yeah, it could be that. We'll find out by the end of the interview what's wrong with you. But I think that's why I'm able to emote. I'm very sincere about it. So even if I may not cry in that place or I may not be emoting for a certain reason, at that moment I believe somebody else somewhere does, and I should be very, very sincere to that. Gasp, I don't think I can scare anyone. My 10-year-old is not scared of me, so I don't think I can make anyone scared. I can make whatever faces. No, I don't think I can make people gasp for any reason.
It's good to know your limitations.
I'm completely limited on that front.
You've made over 100 films, but as you mentioned, during COVID and just after you took a few years off, what do you miss most about the production of a film when you're not working?
I don't know. I think the darkness of the room, the quietude, and then it's very nerve-wracking. When we didn't have sync sound, then you could talk as much as you want. Knock on the wire, do anything you wanted. People are talking and screaming, and you dub the film later, right? And you could think that, okay, I could improve upon my performance also because of, I get the line wrong, it's all right, we'll make it happen after the edit. But the first time sync sound came in, some years back now, many years back, it was very scary. You're all alone, and it seems everybody's listening to you, and everybody's watching you, and everybody's hoping you get it right. Though they're not. They worked with me often enough to know he won't get it right in the first try. But it just says, everything's on to you. And it was very nerve-wracking. And then slowly you got used to the focus of, this attention being on you. For those, so to be honest, Alex, you go on set for 8-10 hours, but you work a couple of hours only.
Sure.
Because the shots are then, take time to set up. So you realize 2-3 hours a day, there is this whole world of 200 people focused on you. And you need to deliver. And it's not a challenge. It's actually your best game face. It's like, yeah, I'll do this.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. Just 2 hours a day. And they pay me a lot for this also. But 2 hours a day, I think I miss that. I miss that. And it's not that I'm self-obsessed. I want people to look at me. I'm very shy in personal life.
Sure.
It's very strange. There's a dichotomy that I'm very shy and I'm very happy in public performing. And I can do both at ease when called upon to do so. But I'm not someone who wants the focus and the lights on him. But those 2 hours is what I missed, where you are also very focused. It's like, okay, I have to get this right, and I don't take it for granted. I don't take it like, there'll be another shot, there'll be a retake. For me, messing up your line, missing your mark, screwing up another actor's, dialogue, or I get very disturbed.
Gives you pain.
Yeah, it gives me pain. So I want to get it right. And I love the fact that 8-10 people from all departments, the sound, the light, the camera, the director, good for me. Oh. So I think I miss that.
Like gold stars from teachers.
Yeah, gold stars from teachers. So during COVID, nobody was saying good for me. Nobody gave a damn. I was all over the place. And I found the second best thing to acting. I realized I love cleaning house.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I love vacuuming. I love cleaning cupboards and going into nooks and crannies and cleaning everything up.
Do you find it meditative?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Therapeutic. I don't know what I find. I just find it lovely. I just, I don't know.
That's a very, very helpful habit to develop.
I think so. The household's very happy.
Yeah.
They'd rather me clean up the house than go out and act. Maybe they'll all start saying after sometimes, yeah, got it. Here's your star. Stay at home and clean up the house.
So if you naturally consider yourself a shy person, but you discovered that you found something within yourself when the lights were on you, when was that? How did you realize, no, actually, being up there can be a good thing and not a scary thing?
So, Alex, if I'm somebody else, whatever name, I'm playing Alex, I'm playing Rahul, I'm playing Devdas, then I'm okay doing all the silly things that Alex does and not feel ashamed or feel odd. I'm like, that's Alex, that's not me. So I think that's
Alex
the
is all
dichotomy.
right.
And Alex, all right. He drinks and he's. Yeah, I like Alex. So my whole thought was that if I am not me, then I'm good. Or if I'm with really, really close friends, then I'm good. So my close friend is just my family and people that I work with closely. I don't have too many friends, which is not a sad thing. I'm not trying to get empathy here. You don't have to have too many friends. But I enjoyed, with few people. Then I'm myself and I'm not shy. And then I can joke about and do all the silly things that everyone does, with my kids especially. I like the company of children much more. I'm less shy in the company of children because you can make a fool of yourself and it's entertaining. It's not looked down upon or questioned. Everything is fun. But otherwise, I'm very shy. If I was sent to a party or they're going to take me for a dinner at Locarno, I'll be very shy there. Very, very shy. I won't even be able to tell which glass to drink wine from. So I'll be very shy there. But I'll try to make do. I'll try and be somebody else and have fun there. So I don't know. I think just when I act, I feel I'm someone else and I can do what I want. It's actually venting. Whatever I can't do, I guess, as a shy person, I'm able to do as the character who could do anything. I think sometimes my directors have to hold me back. Listen, don't go flying off the handle. It's okay. You just only do this much. I'm like, no, I'm wild now. Let me do everything. So yeah, it's a strange personality to have. But I found my peace with it, and I don't know when. Maybe in theatre, the first time I went on stage with so many people watching. I've done some theatre for 8-9 years with an Englishman actually. He taught me all I know of acting. And when I started speaking on stage, and I didn't have the proper English accent, and I remember the others were, very Shakespearean method of speaking. Mine wasn't, and I was a little awkward. And he looked at me and said, "It's okay. You just go on. You just fly, as long as people are appreciating." I think I like the fact that people are just standing there and say, "Okay for me." I think that's the whole point. As myself, I can't do that.
We started off by talking about some of the changes in the industry. And over the last decade, as Netflix has grown, a lot of your films are now on Netflix. And I wondered if that's helping you reach a new audience who'd never quite got the opportunity to see your films before.
I hope so. I hope they are. I'm watching a lot of Spanish films, so they better also watch my films. I'm watching French films. I'm watching Italian films. So I hope so. See, the idea has always been, for me, the larger picture now, and I again don't say it I don't say it patronizingly, because I've been working for 35 years in the Indian film industry, and what I would like to be able to garner and get is to get Indian cinema noticed internationally. Whether I'm part of it as an actor or a producer, as a light person, as a camera person, as a writer, whatever. I just want, because it has given me everything that I have. Indian cinema, Indian audience, Indian people, Indian film watchers, they've given me everything I have. They've made me fulfill the dream that I had. So I owe everything to Indian cinema. But in return, if I am able to participate in something that takes Indian cinema and puts it on a world map. So a lot of people ask me for years, "Oh, you haven't done a Western film. Haven't the roles been offered?" Maybe no, not too many, to be honest. But if they were, would I? I don't know. Because for me, it's very important that I respect the place that I began in, started in, which has given me everything. Can I take my Indian film industry and tell my Indian stories to you? You're from England, so you are half Indian and you know everything about Bollywood. But take it to somewhere else and say, okay, like when because of Netflix and Prime, we are watching stories from parts of the world. See, I'm a film person. It's my duty and job to find other films and watch them.
Sure.
At the festival like Locarno and, discover cinema. But even if I wasn't a film person, because of these OTT platforms, now I'm having access to every film.
Yeah.
So if Indian films can reach there, and if our storytelling, can somehow invoke some kind of feelings in people, though the language is a barrier, but because of the way it's now translated or has subtitles or sometimes even dubbed, it'll be really nice. It would be, for me, telling Indian stories to a bigger audience, because doing it for a theatre is difficult. Because we have a limited, I don't know, Indian films we release about 7,000-8,000 theatres, while Hollywood films release 25,000 theatres. We may not be able to compete with that in terms of audience size also. So it's an amazing platform that we have this place where we can showcase Indian stories internationally to everybody.
Do you think you'll act forever?
Will I act forever?
Yeah.
Till the day I die. I my life's dream is to somebody to say action, and then I die, and they say cut, and then I don't get up. He said, it's okay, it's action, it's over now, please get up. And I say, no, till you all say it's okay. Till you all say it's okay for me. Yes, I'd love to act forever. It's not something that like I said, I'm not a very serious actor, and I'm found out some amazing internal things about acting to showcase to people. I just celebrate the joys of life through my acting. For me, if I'm able to entertain, to me, to be able to create in whatever sense, not in a amazing mad scientist type create, just create, to share joy, to give love, art, painting, singing, music, all of them mean the same thing. To me, it's there is no difference in, if I can entertain you for 2 minutes, it's love. If I can love someone for 50 years, that's entertainment. If I can entertain someone for 30 seconds, it's creative. So I find it all different names for the same thing, and I really enjoy sharing this joy, making people have a feeling for an hour or so and enjoy themselves. And sometimes you miss the mark, and that's the only thing that makes me sad. That, why did I let down people? Why couldn't I give them enough love or entertainment or creativity or whatever the name you give it?
Well, thank you very much for talking to me. I'm sure tonight's screening is going to be great. I'm going to be there. Great to meet you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much.